Guys, welcome to Joe Ciminera Presents. I'm Joe Ciminera. Today we're going to talk about 5 things that are crucial when making a movie. 5 things that I think you're going to need, and we'll talk about them, and I'll give you some advice on what I use so that'll hopefully make your picture a lot better than what it is you're setting out for. All right, number 1 is obviously the camera. What camera are you going to use to film your movie? Now, you've seen me and you've heard me in videos before talking about the iPhone 11. Now, shooting your movie on an iPhone is great, right? Because most of you have an iPhone already. Figure, hey, you know what? It's in my pocket, and it does produce some pretty good stuff, especially if you download Film Pro and a couple of the other apps. You can really get incredible depth. You can get a really nice wide-angle shot. So there's a lot of things you can do by downloading the software. And, you know, I don't remember all the software offhand, but there's like 3 or 4 really good softwares that you can enhance your video. So let's say you want to go back to a DSLR camera, assuming that you don't want to rent the Red or something like that, where you're going to be out of pocket thousands per day, and then obviously have to need somebody trained to actually work it. DSLRs are very good cameras, especially the Canon 5Ds. The Mark II, the Mark III are excellent because, they're really easy to work with. They're relatively inexpensive. And if you're not the cinematographer, chances are if you use a cinematographer, everyone has used a DSLR. And I've used them for many movies. In fact, let me see, the 4 right behind me were all DSLR. Which leads me to the next thing I'm going to talk about is the glass, the lenses. So you got the camera, now you have to worry about the lenses, because in my opinion, you could have a mediocre camera, but it's the glass, it's the lens that really makes the picture look really good. Now, what do I use? 2 different brands of lenses that I love are Carl Zeiss. Carl Zeiss lenses are, you can get a Carl Zeiss lenses from the 70s, and it'd still be just incredible today. I mean, craftsmanship at its finest. That's my number 1. Secondly, I fell in love with the Art Sigma lens. Really good quality lens as well, and relatively inexpensive. You know, you can pick it up for under, $1,400 or something like that. And it's going to make a hell of a difference with your picture. So, lenses are very important. Check out Letgo. Check out, sites that sell different kinds of equipment, so you don't have to buy the lenses brand new. Never buy a lens, where somebody's going to have to ship it to you. You have to physically look at it, make sure there's no cracks, inspect it. Very, very important. Far too many times I've heard of people just getting screwed over with that. I have never been victim to it, but I did hear a lot about it. Next is something that's very important. If you plan on getting any distribution, I can tell you that your audio better be spot on point, okay? Picture has to be good, of course, but the quality of the sound has to be just like crisp and clean. It cannot have any bumps, thumps. I've gotten so screwed over a couple of times over the years hiring camera guys that really didn't know their ass from their elbow. And man, I paid for it because we had, 2-3 long days of production, and I didn't have time to look at the footage. And then when I got in the editing room with the editors, we were like, what the hell? We had to film some of it over, but we couldn't get the locations again. Actors weren't available. Next thing you know, you're in a situation where you're totally screwed because you can't really do anything with this crazy ass sound that you have. So right from the beginning, get yourself an external, some kind of an external recorder. Zoom is very popular, right? Everybody uses the Zoom. But any kind of external recorder is nice. That's going to give you some second level or second channel audio on there. Where the audio track is separate from the actual camera audio. You never want to use the camera audio. I have, just because it's bailed my ass out a couple of times, but. And then let's talk about like shotgun mics real quick. Zoom, Rode is going to be the best shotgun mic out there, and it's relatively inexpensive. Just a shotgun mic to put on your DSLR is going to make worlds of difference. So I think that that's important. Lavaliers, generally you don't use lavs. Lavs are more for like TV. Movies, you're going to go with the boom. You're going to go with the boom. You're going to go with the Rode mic, stuff like that. Now, let's talk about lighting a bit. Lighting is important. Lighting is one of those things, man, where you could spend 6 hours trying to get it right, And, I've had people that have really known lighting go on a set, and sometimes, man, it's just hard to light something up, especially if it's in a corner somewhere. It's not easy, right? But one thing I can tell you, out of all the light kits that you get, you should definitely get 3 separate lights so you could always hide the shadows. And again, we don't want to go too technically involved in this video here. We're already at 6 minutes. Get yourself 3 so you could do a 3-point lighting, and also make sure that you got batteries. Make the battery powered. You want to have the ability, if you're going into these like dark places that might not have electric or something like that, or your guerrilla filmmaking, like what I do, you want those batteries in there, and you want good quality batteries that are going to give you 3 or 4 hours on. So look into ICANN is a really good set, a little bit on the higher price spectrum, but ICANN has got some really, really good stuff. I got a set from ICANN. It was close to $2,000, but I got to tell you, man, I've put that thing through the mill, and it still works really good. Six batteries, and I bought extra, as I always have power, And last thing we're going to talk about is a stabilizer. The Ronins are great, stuff that's going to alleviate that bumpiness. This is really good too. If you're using your iPhone, it's getting late here, folks. I don't know what the hell this was called, but Movi. This is a really good, check this out. This is a really good tool for your iPhone, and really good quality stabilization. And it's just really has some interesting play with it. I mean, it's for many of you who don't know this, take a look at it. If you've never seen this before, you have to look into it, man. This will save your life. Okay, even to have one of these in your car, if you're a run and gun filmmaker, you should always have a couple of things in the trunk. You never know when you need to take it out. This thing will save your life. Step Up is a Ronin. You could use DJI Ronin, Ronin M. Those are really good. All the way to the Ronin complete body suits, which I think is overkill because it takes you 45 minutes to put it on and balance it every time you're ready to shoot. Those are my 5 things that you must have to film a movie. Now, can you use the iPhone 11 and get the sound, get the light? Look, people are getting real creative with the iPhone 11, but traditional filmmaking, because look, as of right now, the iPhone 11 still cannot compare with some good quality glass in the DSLR. But I can tell you that if you go with my 5 top picks here, you should be able to make a film relatively inexpensive, come out really good, and at the same time, you'll be proud of the quality. So lights, camera, action. If you like this video, which I hope you did, please like and subscribe to the channel so it gets me motivated to share with other filmmakers. We're not making any money on this YouTube channel, so at least we want to see it grow somehow. All right, thanks. Take care and start filming.